Thanks, guys, for coming. I'm Dr. Cassie. Today we're going to be working on learning how to engage your core. When people think about core exercises, they usually think about just like doing crunches and working your beautiful six-pack, but the core is actually like all the way around. So I think of it as like a house where the roof is your diaphragm, the floor is your pelvic floor, and then it's 360 degrees all the way around your trunk. So I'm going to teach you how to work those deeper muscles that help keep your core strong so that you're able to free up your extremities to do good exercises. So if we want to start on our backs, the first muscle I'm going to have you find is your transverse abdominis. So if you feel on the insides of your hip bones, I realize, can you see me, Stephanie? Okay. Or I can flip around this way. Okay, so I actually might come over to you guys also. So feeling on the inside of your hip bones, when, or like really ripped people, how they have like that V, what we're trying to do is engage that muscle. It's called your transverse abdominis. It's very small. Try to exhale and drop your belly button down and in towards your spine. And you should feel a small contraction on the inside of your hip bone. Now, what we don't want to happen is your posture to be too flared this way or too flared this way. Just like I mentioned, we have our whole house, or like with our trunk. We want our rib cage to be directly over our pelvis. So what I mean by that is we don't want our ribs to be too flared this way or too flared this way, but right in the middle so that you have good activation of that deep muscle. Can I come over to you? Okay. So if you feel, on this inside, hopefully, and then drop your belly button down towards, just like that. Did you feel how that tightens? Mm-hmm. And then relax. So, can I feel you too? Yeah, and relax. Good, go again. Yes. Okay, so it's good to be able to turn it on. Here, and relax. Yep. But now try to maintain that as you breathe. So if you can't hold it with breathing, then I don't expect you to, but good, yes. So we're going to do that for a couple of rounds of pulling your belly button down and in. Holding it for a couple breaths and just trying to maintain it. It should not be a big bearing down contraction. It's a smaller muscle. So don't put too much effort behind it. So just a small squeeze and then try to hold as you breathe. And then relax it. And then start back up again. Going back to the position of your ribs, if you feel when you contract that muscle, you should feel your ribs kind of flare down just a little bit so that everything is kind of stacked on top of itself. So we don't want it to be like this way because then it's going to be harder for your abdominals to activate. So drop your belly button down and in, maybe do a little bit of an exhale to help engage that transverse abdominis. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm. And then relax. Do we have that? You good too? Yes. Okay. So we might scoot down a little bit from your mat. Well, yes, so that you have room for your feet to slide. So we're going to keep that abdominal contraction. Small squeeze, drop your belly button down and in, and almost drop your ribs down a little bit, and maintain that as you slide your left leg out, and then back in, and then alternate to your other side, right, like out and back in. So this whole time I'm still trying to maintain my transverse abdominis. Do we feel that? It might be hard to maintain as you are moving back and forth. Yeah, and then relax. Or come back in, sorry. Yep, so small squeeze. And then maintain that as you slide out, yeah. And back in, and out. You should feel some working, yeah, down here. Keep going. Isn't that fun? Nice. Let's do 5 more on each leg, and then we'll make it harder. One. And so, I mean, we have different muscles called fast twitch and slow twitch muscles. Your fast twitch muscles are meant for power and like a lot of effort behind it. And then we have slow twitch muscles, which are more for stability and for endurance. So these deeper core muscles that we're working are more for endurance. So it's not necessary to, when we're doing, especially this baseline core, to make the exercises super hard, but it's more about being able to maintain the muscle, to train it so that it's able to hold the way that it's supposed to do its job. Okay, so now I'm going to have you guys bring your arms up overhead. And then same thing with bringing one leg out, but now we're going to lift another arm up overhead, or your opposite arm. So I have my left leg out long, still holding my transverse abdominis, and then my right arm overhead, and then back in. And then here again. I call this is kind of like a modified dead bug, because we look like a dead bug. Or a dying bug. A way to progress this, well, before we progress, we want to make sure that we don't have any pain in our low back. So if we're starting to feel some pinching back here, we might want to check in with ourselves to see if maybe our ribs have started to flare, which is going to put more compressive force on in the back of our spine. So keeping not necessarily a big pelvic tilt, but your abdominals engaged enough to hold your trunk steady. Okay. Let's bring both of our legs up to tabletop. Right here. Yep. Holding transverse abdominis. Like small squeeze, drop your belly button down and in. Bend your knees just a little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Okay. Tap one foot down onto the floor. We'll only do 5 of these on each leg. Here and back up. And then right leg, back up. Left leg, 2, 2, 3. My legs are shaking, or my abs are shaking. I think this is 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Does that feel okay? Did you feel that in your abs? Okay. Okay, good. And now adding, are you guys good? Yes? Okay. So now adding in the arms similar to what we just did. So legs are going to be up in tabletop and our arms are up overhead. Keeping that small squeeze. Holding as you drop your left foot to the ground. Bring your right arm overhead. And then back up. Yes, Steph. Here and back up. Keep going. 2, 2. Yeah, good. 3, 3. Do you feel core? Yeah. 4, 4. Beautiful.